This is Rob Gueringer, a.k.a. Freaky Rob. I'm here with my friends from Guitar Center today, and we're going to be taking a look at the Fender 70th Anniversary Vintera 2 Antigua Stratocaster. So immediately out the case, I love the way the guitar feels, and I think hands down my favorite thing already is this color. I've seen a lot of vintage Antigua Strats from the actual 70s period, and a lot of those finishes tend to like either fade away or they become like more of a light creamish white color. But to see this color in its original form, brand new out the case, this is actually epic. I love the black knobs with the black pickup covers and the ply around the pickguard. It all just complements each other so well. With the addition of these 70th anniversary 70s pickups by Fender, the guitar sings and sounds so amazing. And it has a very, very kind of like punchy yet round feel to me that makes me want to play rhythm, kind of in the sorts of like a Nile Rodgers or something like that. The guitar is really set up for you to go and dig in. So if I were to do like a Nile Rodgers type thing, I would put this guitar in position 2 or in the middle position. Let's check it out in position 2. For me, the Nile Rodgers sound is typically very percussive and it's chordy, but also is light in a sense. That's why I switched to position 2. He wouldn't really play heavy in the neck position sometimes, but for the most part, the Nile sound, it's that light chuck, we like to call it. I also like that sound in the middle position as well. Let's check it out. So as you can hear, the middle position has a little bit more body to it. I would switch from position 2 to middle. For instance, if I was playing that same part in position 2, I would kick it to the middle position, maybe when we got to the chorus of that song or when we got somewhere where I needed the guitar to become a little bit bigger, but not too overbearing. And it still has that chuck rhythm feel. It's just, it has a little bit more body to it. With the Nile sound, I like to say, honestly, it's all in the fingers. He had effects that he would use, but that iconic tone that we all really love from him is primarily clean. If you listen to the parts that he came up with and that he played, they weren't like very, very hard parts, but the light would shine on them because of the space that he would create in the music around them, where he could just play this guitar with these clean rhythm parts and all the shine would be there, but it would still complement everything else in the song. So this guitar literally is the 70s to me, inside and out. As soon as I pick it up, it makes me feel like the Isley Brothers. It makes me feel like Curtis Mayfield. It just has all those features that artists would use or that artists were used to with the guitars back then. One of the things that this guitar makes me want to pull up with it immediately is a phaser. I have with me today my Strymon Mobius, which I'm using the 4-stage phaser in there. Let's check it out. So in the last demo, I switched my pickup position from the middle to the neck position, because with the phaser, you'll get a lot of frequency sweeps and cool effects if it's picking up more of the resonance from the guitar. So therefore, I put the switch into the neck position so that you get more body of the guitar and you can kind of hear how the frequency sweeps. And this effect was really, really big in the 70s. You had a lot of hit songs that were phaser incorporated. You had guitarists like Ernie Isley that would use phasers. Prince used phasers. Jimi Hendrix, who started using phasers around this time, like the phaser really came in and brought a different element to the game. So now I want to play my guitar for you without the phaser. This is just the neck position clean. Now I'm going to turn on the phaser, and so you can hear exactly what's going on difference-wise. Again, now if I was on the opposite side of the spectrum, I would be using the guitar in the bridge position, and this is what that sounds like clean. So now I'm going to play the guitar in the bridge position with the phaser, and you'll hear that it's a little less lush and the tone is a little bit lighter, but still really cool. Let's check it out. I like the bridge phaser more so to make the guitar stand out, maybe like a quick little lead line here without overdrive, or maybe just something sweet to complement something, maybe a synth or another key part maybe doing in the background. When I have the phaser on with the neck position, that's the primary part of the song as far as the guitar is based. That means I'm either doing rhythm, I may be the main chording for the song, or it's typically the upfront part. Another very notable thing from the 70s that guitarists and musicians would use is the wah-wah pedal. And when you pair one with the Strat, you get things like the soundtrack and theme from Shaft, a lot of other cool like Curtis Mayfield songs. It was very widely used in the 70s. And I think the reason that a Strat complements the wah so well is because the Strat is already a very, very percussive instrument. Even just the way you strum over the pickups, it allows for you to be very percussive. But then you have single coil pickups that interact with the wah in a special way, unlike it interacts with a humbucker or P90s or any other pickup. When I'm playing wah, the wah allows you to essentially almost be like a little band yourself. You get to incorporate your rhythm. You get to not only select it with your foot, but it's also a mixture of your feet and your hands working together. The foot is typically, that would be like my kick drum. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I do with my hands in between that is what's making the percussive sound. So for instance, if I just play now, that's just the wah. Now if I add double chucks in between there, now we have a little percussive thing forming already. But now if I take that and I add chording around it, now if I add it all together, when you put all three of those things together and you blend them the right way, you have a match that's made in heaven. And I think the Strat is the perfect guitar for this because it's not so heavy. You have those single coil pickups, which are a little bit lighter than the typical humbucker or something of that sort. So you can kind of get a little bit more nitty gritty with your picking, and it's not so harsh on the output side. And I think me personally, with this Strat especially, these pickups cut through very, very well. I can hear everything, like the clarity is there for sure. So another group that came out of the 70s, one of my favorites actually, was a group named The Police. And their guitarist, Andy Summers, he had something really, really cool at the time that he was doing. He would kind of use like a delay and a flanger to make almost like this very lush, chordy, padded sound for guitar. This is the guitar that you would want to do that with for sure. Let's check this out in position 4. So in the last demo, I used the flanger from my Strymon Mobius pedal, and I'm actually using the tape delay side and the spring reverb side from my Universal Audio Delverb. This tone in particular is one of my favorites to use even to this day still. It just adds something really, really cool to majority of the music that I like to play and that I like to produce. This guitar really complements it well because this neck is very, very playable. It has that glossy urethane finish, so it's kind of smooth and easy to get across, but also it has that U shape, unlike most guitars where you have the common C shape. The U is a little bit more thin and you can access it easier. So for the most part today, I've been playing with a clean tone. Now let's kick in some overdrive, courtesy of my Universal Audio Ruby pedal. This guitar is the 70s in one piece. It's literally the 70s personified. You have this very catchy color that I love. You have these awesome sounding pickups that are only in this guitar. You have the 4-ply pickguard, all the black accents. Then you have this neck that is easy to not only get around, but it's comfortable. I think overall it's a win. I really like it. If you'd like to get your hands on this Fender 70th Anniversary Vintera 2 Antigua Stratocaster, go to guitarcenter.com, call one of their expert gear advisors, or stop in at your local GC.